Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this video breakdown, I'm going to take a look at a defense that's going to bring some really nice pressure on the quarterback with just a three-man pass rush and actually have some really nice pass coverage behind it. The name of the defense that we use for this video breakdown is called 𝗬𝗂𝗯𝘀𝗯𝗲𝗏. Here's a look at the playbooks you can find this play out of. Before I actually show you how to set up the 𝗬𝗂𝗯𝗀𝗏 as far as getting a three-man pass rush, let's take a look at the default pass coverages and pass rush assignments. Now, as you look at this one, as the play indicates, it's a cover 3 defense. So you got these 3 guys right here as you look at it, playing 3 deep coverage. And then underneath, you're going to have 4 defenders playing some type of zone coverage. You got 2 of them that are going to be playing the hard flats. And then you also have the 2 defenders to the inside. You got this one playing the hook curl along with this defender right here, which is the strong safety playing the hook curl. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the pass rush assignments as well. So you got these 4 guys that are going to be rushing the quarterback. You got the 3 defensive linemen along with this linebacker. Now what I want to do is go into it and show you guys how to set up this defense to get a 3-man pass rush. All right, the very first thing you guys are probably noticing right now is I'm using the stunt. The name of the stunt that I'm using, as you can see on your screen, is called left exit 2-man. Now, a lot of us probably think that you're going to try to get some A-gap pressure. That is not the case. I'm not looking to get A-gap pressure here. Actually, I'm going to look to get outside pressure, but I need to use this stunt to get that, to generate that pressure. And later in the video breakdown, when we go into the X and O's of the play, I'll show you why I use the stunt. All right, let's go ahead and go through the setup here as far as with this defense, and I'll show you how to set this one up. So let's go ahead and just go through it briefly here as we go through it. And the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to call underneath coverage right there. Now, I realize if you think about this, now this is kind of optional. We've already got 2 defenders playing the flats. If you remember, I talked about playing the hard flats. All this is going to do is put them in the hard flats, but there's a reason for that I want to do this is because these defenders right here are playing those hook curls. I want those the guys to play. If you remember right, in the new patch, they've got these guys now where they're set to right around 5 yards. Specifically, this defender right here, I need him to come up. I want him to come up further. So that's the reason that I'm going to select this underneath coverage adjustment that I'm using right here. Now, the next adjustment that you want to make is to go ahead and take control of this defender right here as you look at your screen. And what we're going to do with him, as you look at it, we're actually going to put him into a curl flat. All right. So what this is going to do as you look at your screen, this is going to create Mable coverage that a lot of us like to run. Now, I don't have any coverage adjustments set up as far as in the coaching, as far as the zone drops and stuff like that. For example, that curl flat right there, the one that I just hot routed this defender in, you could go in there and set that, say, to 20, 25 yards, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to do it for the video breakdown. Just know that you can do that. So that's not something really up to you as far as how you want to set that. So let's continue on with the setup here. The next thing you want to do is you're going to shift the defensive line to the left and the linebackers to the left as well. Plus, you're going to take control of this defensive end. All right, the next thing you want to do is you're going to bring up the substitution screen here as you look at your screen here. So let's go ahead and do that next. And right there, this is kind of important. You need to bring this up. And I also want you guys to watch what I'm about to show here with the controller. Let's keep going on with this so you guys can see this. Now, if you look at it, I'm going to put this on pause. You can see at this point that I'm holding down the left trigger, the right trigger, and the left stick. Now, the one thing about the left stick is you look at it, you're going to notice that I'm going to be going at the 7 o'clock position. So make sure you're doing that before the snap. What we don't want to do is we don't want him to loop to the inside. We want him to loop to the outside, because what's going to happen is you watch this. I know you guys can't see it because I can't really illustrate it just yet, but you're going to see that the defensive tackle on that side, or the nose tackle, is actually going to go out towards the same direction as we're rushing the quarterback with the end that we're in control of. When we get into the X and O's of the play, I'll really explain that a lot more. So just keep that in mind. So once this ball is snapped, we're going to go basically towards the left, and we'll be able to get to the quarterback, and you're going to see this as I go through this. So let's keep going through this, and you guys will see it. Let's take a look at it here as we keep going through this. All right, right there as you look at it, see I'm going to the outside, and now I'm able to go to the quarterback. The other thing you might have saw there is that I switched off to another defender. Let's go into the X and O's of the play. If you made it this far, hit the like button, subscribe, and get notified for our latest Madden Guides YouTube video breakdowns. From the all 22 and instant replay, we can take a look at the X and O's of the play and really show you exactly how this play works and what my thought process was when I came up with the idea. Now, the first thing I wanted to do was to find a way to get pressure from this defensive end without being blocked. That was my first thought, and I had to come up with an idea. And as I was labbing it, the first thing I thought about was a stunt. And the very first stunt that I came up with was the left exit 2-man. And the reason for that is that I knew that this nose tackle would actually take an outside angle towards the left tackle. And that's what I needed to do. I needed to occupy the left tackle to make this work. Now, I also knew that this particular defensive end, which is this guy right here, would actually supposed to be rushing through this A gap into this area here. But I don't want him to rush through the A gap. Remember, I want to get him to the outside to get pressure on the quarterback. So what I thought was, what if I bring up the substitution menu and press the left stick towards the 7 o'clock position, holding down the trigger, one of the right trigger. In this case, I held down both, but if you hold down that right trigger, you're going to achieve this. So as you look at the controller here, what I was trying to do was I'm trying to get that defender right there to go at the 7 o'clock position, so he ends up going to the outside. And then once I got around to the outside, then I knew that I probably could get pressure on the quarterback coming into this area here and get that pressure on the quarterback. That was the idea of that as far as with this. And then the other things I thought about was, well, I like to have some nice pass coverage, and I thought about Mable coverage, which a lot of us run. And that's when I came up with the 3-man pass rush by dropping this guy into coverage, because initially this was going to be a 4-man pass rush, but I thought, what if I drop this guy into a curl flat? Then I'll have Mable coverage on the side of the trip side or the bunch formation. Now, I know you guys see this guy right here as you look at it. This guy's going in auto motion, but before he went into auto motion, he was actually, if you remember right, in the bunch formation. So what this is going to allow me to do is have a few defenders playing over here. You got this guy playing in the flat, the hard flat, if you remember right. And then you also got this guy playing this deep coverage, which is nice as well, because now we got marble coverage. Now, remember, I didn't make any coaching adjustments as far as dropping defenders back, as far as specifically the curl flat, as far as dropping him further back into coverage. You could drop him 20, 25 yards if you want. And then my next thought process was, what if my opponent likes to run some of these short passing routes, such as this, coming over the middle here with these short crossing routes? And that's when I decided to go ahead and do, as far as doing the underneath coverages. Now, I realized, as I talked about earlier, that the hard flats are already part of this defense, but I also wanted to get these two zone defenders right here, as you look at your screen here, to actually come up into the 5-yard area to take away those. Now, you don't have to do that part as far as the underneath shade. That's just something that I just wanted to do, just take away those routes underneath. That way, I thought that way they couldn't get rid of the ball as fast. So that was the idea behind all that. So that's really it as far as what my thought process was, as far as, getting to the quarterback and having a nice looking pass coverage behind it. From this point now, we'll just go ahead and show you guys as the play goes into motion, and I can kind of walk you through a little bit more through it, so that way you guys get a better understanding of how it works. So as you guys look at this particular defender, the one that I'm in control of, as I talked about earlier, is I'm trying to hold down that right trigger with the substitution menu up, and I'm pressing towards the 7 o'clock position on the controller. So as you go through here, there it is, 7 o'clock position. You can see right now, as you look at your screen, a couple things going on here. The first thing to note would be this nose tackle right here. He's going to be occupying that left tackle for me. And here I am in control of this guy. Now, if you remember right, I'm taking control of him. I'm trying to go to the outside here. And at some point, I'm going to release him right as he gets about right there. I'm going to release him as he's heading towards the quarterback. And then I'm going to switch off to another defender. I'm going to use that switch stick. And then I'm going to switch off into this guy right here. And then I'm going to take away anything that's coming underneath there as well. Now, you can stay in control of this defender right here, the one that I'm in control of initially. And if you wanted to, you can manually rush him and go after the quarterback. That's really up to you. Or you can do the thing, what I just did there, and switched off. All right, at this point, you can see that my opponent, or if this was my opponent, he wouldn't have anybody to throw to, but possibly this guy right here. Everybody else is pretty locked up. As you can see with this particular defense, we have 8 defenders that are dropping back in pass coverage here, taking away pretty much everything. There's not a whole lot of options to throw to, as you can see. And then as you look at it, we have this 3-man pass rush going on. Matter of fact, this particular defender, this nose tackle, he could also possibly be involved in there. Sometimes you'll see him loop around and not get blocked as well on occasion. I just want to point that out to you. But you can see right there as you look at it, it's pretty nice coverage. We got a pass rush coming on, and then we end up getting that right there. Now, I know you guys are thinking one other thing. Well, if I were playing against you, well, then I would do this. I would simply, roll the quarterback out into this direction here and get away from that pass rush. Yeah, you might be able to. Remember, that's Parsons coming after you. He's pretty fast. But you could always do a QB contain as well if you wanted to. You could always put this guy in QB contain rather than having him dropping back into that curl flat. And that could be another option as well. So that'd be something else you might consider doing. Or you could just mix this in with some other defenses. There's some other defenses you can run this from and get the same results. And we'll talk about those in another video breakdown. But that's it really in a nutshell as far as how I wanted to use this play and show you guys how you guys can get some pressure on the quarterback by simply just doing a 3-man pass rush and making just a couple adjustments. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for more Madden Guides, strategy, and tips content. See you in the next video.